Hello there, and welcome back to Corey Loses, where today we are once again continuing our Thrawn's Revenge Imperial Civil War 2.3.4 preview playthrough as the New Republic. In the last episode, the Penastar alignment did us a favor and killed Saint Pestage for us, but we are trying to find where Isard is. We're going to try to take her out, and hopefully Thrawn after that, and Palpatine after that, which may be a bit more difficult. But we are going to try to reclaim some of our territory. I'm not going to I'm not going to worry too much about all of that. Let's get those in there, though. Oh, look what I found. So we know where she is. But will she stay put?
Assault frigate here.
Alright. I really thought she'd be at Typhera. Yeah, the Bothan spies found her without putting in quite as much work as I thought they might have had to. But this is their ground force we're finding. Take out the ground force. We'll have her trapped, if nothing else.
We've got them. Send reinforcements.
And I think this fleet does have an interdictor. So it does. Your mistake. Oh well.
Order confirmed.
Achilles, say hello to Spartan's Pride. Team Redemption equivalent there. Escort service. I forgot my neck brace. Just the New Republic. Wedge. Easy Company. Sloanian Touch, a regular CR90, I think. I'll actually check that because I'm not sure. Ace Striker. And Shark Tank. Glory of Mon Cal. I'm going to make sure that we just kill everyone with this. This is like all ground units. And I will give Spartan's Pride some help there.
Moving the sacred coordinates, sir.
Well, the PA, one of their main planets is Munilence, so we decided Munificent would be a good thing to give them, just for that. Because it's difficult making the Imperial factions feel different or play differently. So that's what's...
Gravity well generators online. Retreat aborted.
So it's not like the PA was a Clone Wars faction, like a lot of people end up thinking. It's just, because it's an Outer Rim planet, we try to give it some older, or an Outer Rim faction, we tried to give it a bit more of the older stuff and tried to fit in stuff where it made sense, to some extent. When, like, realistically, they would have had similar unit loadouts to, like, pretty much any Imperial roster could fit with any Imperial faction to some extent. We just tried to decide like which things were most likely to be most prominent in different areas, and just whatever we could put in that would be different from what other factions are using to try to emphasize a different playstyle. Because at the end of the day, they are still Imperial factions, but we do want to use the slots as optimally as possible and get as much different stuff out of them as we can. Alright, let's see if we can get this to continue on a path that'll make it miss with the next HV gunshot.
Awaiting orders. Moving to your coordinates.
Reporting in. Rendezvous. Moving to attack position.
Or we could even turn off the interdictor now.
Target the heavy guns.
Let them retreat.
Ready for your next command. Shields are down.
How were the Muns treated this time? Not great, probably, by the Empire. But they were still financially pretty powerful. It all like there's not much that explains what happened to them specifically after the Clone Wars. a lot of CIS aligned individuals did have a lot of their assets taken, but
Let's do some damage.
given how ingrained they were to certain parts of the galaxy, like they probably weren't entirely deprived of everything as a species. It would, like, you know, this was probably still a central banking area.
Right with you, boss.
Copy. Firing. Crews are responding.
Your word is my command, sir.
But of course, that's all just really speculation. Can't really know.
Form up. Attack.
What are you shooting? Okay, that's fine.
Reporting for duty. I'll try and drop
Let's try to get these other three. You know what? I will.
Sir.
Gravity well generators
Commence.
Now we're no longer under threat from the HV guns for a while.
Your orders?
So I'm okay with taking the extra couple seconds to
Waiting orders.
blow up the last 3 ground units.
Open fire. Got one.
It's a lot easier to deal with them in space than on the ground, after all.
Yes, Commander. Easy target. Attack formation. No problem, Commander. Try and draw their fire.
We are victorious.
There we go. Now, how will this fleet do against Lusankya?
Fleet approaching.
Who's approaching where? Do I want to know? Nah.
Tactical battle imminent.
Okay, what do we got? An ISD, VSD, Acclimator, Lusankya, Strike Cruiser. So it should all be on the map when we get in.
Inbound.
Hopefully the last playthrough we have with the old Executor model.
Choose your reinforcements.
I wish we had the BACs. What was the reasoning for giving the Penstar Lemon Inquisitors? Because that's who they tended to end up with. The Inquestors had some Inquisitor presence, and Jarek worked with Kane to some extent. All right, let's put in behind. So
Reinforcements cancelled.
I read all the names of this fleet several times in the last episode or two, so with this we'll just let the battle
Reinforcements cancelled.
Will be that.
go.
Can't stay out here.
Reinforcements
Right away.
en route.
Moving to coordinates.
Reinforcements cancelled.
Heading out.
Vector is set.
Reinforcements cancelled.
Consider it done.
Roger, setting course, sir.
So we're going to take this back to front, hopefully.
Reinforcements
Right
cancelled.
away. Moving into position. Proceeding to location.
I'm hit. Roger. Heading out.
Nope. Okay.
For your next command. Hold
Got
on.
us targeted.
Reporting for duty.
Running out of maneuvers.
Weapons operational.
Squad, I need help.
Awaiting orders.
Losing my engine.
Transfer all power to shield.
Copy. Attack that target. Copy. I copy. Open fire. Ready for duty.
The turn rate isn't that great on them, but sometimes EAW
Bombers reporting in.
kind of flips it around, which I'm assuming is what happened there.
Reporting. Heading out.
We can still take it. It's just less convenient and probably higher chance of some losses.
I copy.
Because we're at full pop cap and their support seems to be spread out. We have a lot of fighters in this fleet as well.
Yes, sir.
Ready for your next command. Reporting. Take out that weapon system.
As long as we can make sure we don't overkill too many hard points.
Laser cannons.
Yes, sir. Affirmative. As good as done.
Y-wing here.
Too close.
Target those lasers.
So we got to try to make sure
Taking target. Form up. Target those lasers.
we hit the other hard points.
On calamari cruiser here. Our target priority.
Because one of the bigger risks is that we
Primary target.
Cruiser ready.
you don't want to be in this. Neither do you, neither do you. But if we waste too many of our bombs from too many squads on one hard point, we're giving up a lot of our firepower.
Awaiting order.
I'm just trying to tell them to attack some random ones. Oh, you got way farther up than I thought.
Fire.
too bad this is one of the less good lighting sets.
Take out the weapon of warfare.
Squadron reporting. Fire at will.
Our engines are down.
Okay, can I pull you out?
Reporting. The lasers are
Awaiting orders.
Hey, Striker, let's get power to weapons.
Our target priority is the laser cannon. The laser banks are your primary target.
Awaiting orders.
Waiting orders. Destroy the ion cannon. I've lost engine 2.
Copy.
Or
I copy.
MC40.
Lasers.
Ready for your next command.
You try to pull out.
Babylon B frigate here. The lasers are our target. I got one on me.
Setting course.
Reporting. Yes, sir.
Let's keep the A-Wings on their fighters. You're probably too far to do as much as I'd like.
Our target priority is the laser cannons. Hold on. Reporting for duty.
I'm in range.
Waiting orders ready.
Point 1.
Go in.
Watch your 6. Reporting. Rendezvous at copy. Point 1.
Ready for your next command.
Watch your 6.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Huh.
Fire at will. I copy. I'm in range. Rendezvous.
I kind of want to shift some of them to
Incoming fire.
other areas. Okay. I'm going to pull you two up.
Try and draw their fire.
Actually, you as well. You I'm going to keep there.
Should we go around for another I've lost engine 2. Yes,
A-Wings, you've got their fighters under control.
reporting. Yes, Commander.
I'm going to send a K-Wing after the ISD.
I've got hostile. I've been hit. Yes, sir. Point 1. I can't shake.
B-Wings as well.
Standing by. On your tail. Hold on. Incoming fire.
Awaiting orders.
I've got hostile.
Moving to your coordinates.
Get far enough away. You're going to come up around now.
Ready.
Weapons incoming fire.
Pull some of you out.
Weapons charged. Waiting orders.
Cruiser standing by.
In attack formation.
Forward. Cruiser.
So we're going to pull the MC-80s in to engage the Star Destroyer. Then after the shields are down to the Star Destroyer, we're going to send the bombers back after the Executor,
Ready.
Lusankya.
Ready. Tight spot.
Ready for your next command.
I can't take another
Alright.
hit like that.
All power to shield.
You two should be tanking right now.
Target's coming in, ma'am.
Ready to command.
Okay, now Y-Wings, I'm going to send back to this corner.
Laser banks are your primary target.
E-Wings,
Going for their laser. Ready for orders.
E-Wings. E-Wings help them now.
Weapons charged.
You're good.
Open fire.
The octuple, you get the octuple on them.
Priority is the laser cannon.
You're still fine. You have power to shields. So I'm going to send you forward. By the time you're up there, your shield should be pretty full.
Target those lasers. The laser banks are your primary target.
And one up the side.
Weapons operational.
Ready. Target those lasers.
Alright.
All
Get your shields back and then circle around.
Frigate reporting.
Just gotta juggle that aggro. That's all it is.
Fire on those ion cannons. Squadron reporting. Attack that target.
Got a bomber group, so A-Wings, do your job.
cruiser standing.
You're probably safe to come after at least the Acclimator.
Laser cannons.
Your orders?
Are you trying to hit the... No. Okay, good. I thought they were going after the VSD for a second.
Bombers at the ready. Stay in attack formation. I've been hit. Stay in attack formation. Target those lasers. One on your tail. Reporting in, sir. Let one on your tail. Moving to attack position. Stay in attack formation.
Mon calamari cruiser
All right,
here.
2 more octuplets.
Mon calamari cruiser ready. Our target priority is the laser cannons.
It's probably time to start dealing with parts of the VSD, because it's actually the biggest threat right now, and it's just going for it. All right.
Targeting at maximum firepower. Cannons on.
Awaiting orders.
Swordsman, that's mostly the map lighting. The lighting on this map is pretty terrible, and it's underlit, which only changes when the, what's it called? When the tractor beams are on, and then it shuts off all shadows, which is really fucking stupid, but it's an Empire War issue. Because the texture on the ISD is the correct tone. It's not.
Awaiting orders. Direct fire on the engines.
That's a hit. Scratch one. Rendezvous at mark 6.1.
Down.
Decreasing in attack formation.
Okay,
Copy.
so there's a Sard.
Those torpedo launchers must be destroyed.
Decreasing full
The
throttle.
engines are our primary target.
Rendezvous at mark 6.1.
Yeah, we're probably either going to remove the tractor beams, which is an unfortunate gameplay thing, but it just fucks up all the rendering in the game. Or we'll change how they render, if we can change how the tractor beams render, so hopefully it doesn't mess with every other shader.
Fire.
Decrease to full throttle.
Well, invisible beams are bad too, because then there's no indication of what's happening. Unless we put in like a particle that attaches to any ship that's tractor beamed as an indicator.
Attack that target. Weapons on. Reporting.
But then if you're in cinematic mode and someone's tractored, there's like a particle above the
The enemy has been defeated.
the ship showing that,
For your next command.
which would be annoying.
Shields to maximum.
Right, did we take any losses with that?
New construction options available.
Okay, Assault Frigate, Calamari, Last Resort, Fist of the Republic, and Floating Touch. So, not terrible. Alright, doesn't seem to be a indicator for Thrawn, but
Will be there.
we see that there, so. Well, it's already a mostly transparent cylinder. Like, it's already rendered that way, it's just it shuts off the other. It's a shader issue. No matter how simple you make it, it's a shader issue. So there's not much that can be done there. But which faction was Dasan with during Jedi Outcast? Dasan was with the Empire Reborn, or Reborn Empire, but it's such a minor faction. The only way we'd be able to include it with anything else is if we make it so that through whatever other action you gain the loyalty of those factions, which is a potential thing with the Imperial legitimacy mechanic, so that we can make them available to some faction. But doing that kind of art, character art, is usually the hardest stuff to do. So doing Dasan as like a potential situational hero for another faction is not especially high priority right now.
Ready for commands. Targeting.
Bombers reporting in. Targeting.
You call
Well,
it.
they didn't control any planets that were especially relevant, so there's no GC that they really fit in as an independent force.
Weapons armed. Roger.
In that case, they'd just be doing the extra art
Confirmed.
for a hero
Ball
that
out.
no one gets to play as that dies in the first 3 seconds, which is even less worth it.
Roger that.
I'd rather keep those kind of people off the Galactic map, and then if they were using a mechanic like that, that's when they show up, rather than having them start on the map and then just die.
Y-wing here. I've got it lined up.
Squad, I need help.
I've been hit.
Reporting for duty.
Weapons armed.
See him.
Alright, let's pull up there. Which ones do we have here? This is how many bosses does it take? And Boris failure did nothing wrong.
Like that.
Form up.
I can't stay out here.
Target those lasers.
Stay in attack formation. I'm in range.
Awaiting orders.
Fire at will. Formation.
So the scimitars, a Thrawn era special.
Enemy cover me.
Yes, sir. Assault frigate here.
Enemy
Keep
fighters
going.
on me.
This way.
Watch your
Standing
six.
by.
Running out of maneuvers.
Dreadnought cruiser ready.
Stay in attack formation. Watch your six. Enemy fighters incoming.
Swinging around. I'm in range. Hold on. Scanner contact behind me.
I've got my prospector. Copy.
Watch your six.
They have so little territory, it shouldn't be too hard to find Thrawn.
Your orders?
And once we're in Era 3, then I'll put in the rest of the patron units, because it's, well, except for the Viscount. Well, actually, no, because the research on that would be Era 3, so
Attacking
we
target.
should be able to put in everything.
Destroy the ion cannon.
I'll try and draw their
Enemy
fire.
spotted.
I've been hit. Scratch one. I've got my prospector.
So it's all about finding Thrawn.
We have them in our sight.
Let's kill that Lancer. And the raid fleet should be here any second.
Yes, Commander.
Scratch one. Help.
Form up.
Got it targeted.
Increasing full throttle. Switch pattern.
That's got him.
Ready to engage.
Squad, I need help.
Waiting orders.
I need help.
Awaiting orders. Heavy cruiser standing by.
I'm in range. I'll try and draw their fire.
Yes, Commander. Stay in attack formation.
Well, no, it's just a lot of the
Yes, sir.
New Republic's units are being moved to being more dependent on research. And while there will be some era requirements to do that research, it'll be a bit more lax. So there'll be a lot more opportunities to, if you put in the right investment, to get other stuff early. So either Mandalorians. So either stuff that you can research earlier, or if it's like the Boston Assault Cruiser, how normally it would be in Era 5, but we made the requirement for researching it, Borsk being the Chief of State, giving the extra contract to Bothawai, so that kind of stuff. There will be more internal decisions the factions can make, rather than having it be so externally based on the on what's happening with the Empire. Like, that'll still influence timeline stuff mostly, but less tech for other factions.
Reporting.
Enemy fighters incoming. Attacking.
We're drawing their fire.
I'm in range. Swinging around.
Cannons armed. Target those lasers.
Got one. Copy. Reporting.
I'm hit. Target those
Alright, let's get the one that's in the middle.
Your order, sir.
Frequency open.
After the
Yes.
battle, after the last battle, I was trying to flex a bit too much with this, but we still need to be slightly careful. The Mandalorians aren't going to carry this for us. This would be a nice battle to have a boarding shuttle in. I'll probably start buying a couple of those now that we're a bit more established. I was trying to save our money for stuff that's a bit more reliable at first. There's been a lot of comments on most episodes of why am I not using them yet, but that was why I just wanted to be a bit more established, and this would have been a great one to get because I could have just taken that. Hey, Gamart, not too bad to you.
Changing course to intercept. Ready.
Weapons operational. Assault frigate here.
And we'll go back to supporting Leia in the elections, because we've gotten about what we're going to get out of Borsk right now, and the other leader effects aren't coded in yet. Is Rusan in TR? It's in Fall of the Republic. I don't think it's ever used in Imperial Civil War. Like, any planet that's in either mod is technically in both, like the coding is there, but I don't think it's used anywhere. You were supposed to do that.
Yes, Commander.
I've got one on me.
Ready.
I've lost engine 2. Keep your eyes open.
Going for their lasers.
Roger that. Over there.
We're drawing their fire.
Form up. I'm on it.
Increase to full throttle. Awaiting orders.
Y-wing standing by.
Got a big. Can't shake up.
Alright. Our bombers being over here is going to do nothing good for us.
Stay in attack formation.
Responding.
Watch for enemy fighters.
No!
One on me.
Rendezvous at mark.
Scratch one.
The Empire struck our back.
Your orders? Torpedoes armed.
Rendezvous at mark.
Been hit.
Waiting orders. On calamari cruiser here.
Can't see him.
Dreadnought cruiser ready.
Yeah, there's like 350 planets between both mods right now. And with some of the Vong stuff and Chiss stuff and Hut stuff, that'll go up probably to about 400, which I'm sure Sloaney will be happy about. But
On calamari cruiser ready.
we still only use whichever planets are, in our opinion, best suited for whatever scenarios we're doing, for whatever, like, within whichever size constraints we have. Sometimes, like, positionally, that matters. If we need some, like, mid-rim planets in a specific area, then we'll select for that, but
Bombers reporting in.
if possible, if you own the Rusan, you can make Shadow Troopers from Jedi Outcasts of your Imperial. Again, that's a very specific unit for a planet that's not in any of the Galactic Conquest maps, so that is generally the kind of thing we try to avoid, because a new character model, which is a lot of work for a very niche thing that most players would never even use. Like, there are some planet-specific stuff that we are doing, but it tends to be stuff we'd want to be a bit more impactful or
Roger that.
a bit more unique. Especially when we have as much work as we do to do ground combat changes and role change and all that stuff in general. Like, we don't want to put a planet that's irrelevant to an era in that era in some maps for some factions or a unit that they didn't actually have or use that isn't really tied to that planet in any logical way. Like, there's a lot of stretches there that are a bit too much.
I need help. Got them on the run.
Increase to full
I've
throttle.
lost engine 2.
I'm in bad shape.
Out of the D23 trailer, the teaser, and the final trailer for Rise of Skywalker, which is your favorite? I did really like the Rise of Skywalker trailer, so probably that. Alright, we did lose. How many Bothans does it take? I didn't want to risk extending that too much because it would have potentially gone poorly. And right now it seems like the Empire is kind of struggling to hold on.
Right away.
So let's reinforce them.
Unit in production.
You guys are going into here.
Moving out.
How about a bonus to force? Again, we don't really have a plan to put Rusan into the mod. Like, it's just going to stay in Fall of the Republic. So trying to find mechanics for Rusan isn't really going to get you many places. Like, we're not looking for a reason to shoehorn Rusan into Imperial Civil War. Where is Thrawn, though? Better get cracking. Not there. Castle is pretty well defended. There. I haven't played Battlefront 2 for a while. I do want to do another stream of it soon. The last month's
Assault
been
frigate here.
pretty busy. Okay, Phoenix. How's it going? Like, I wasn't even sure what was out yet. because Justin's in the EA Influence, whatever that's called. EA, I forget. Their program thingy. Game Changers, thank you. I wasn't sure if he was playing something early with that or if it was out. I haven't really paid attention to Battlefront news as much. Like, I enjoy playing it, but it just hasn't been on my radar. I think it's gotten much better since release. National element is captured. Sauce Beacon. Alright. I think we might leave it there for today. So on Tuesday, we'll either be recording this again, or more likely we might be starting the Consortium campaign. We'll either do Consortium, Rebel, or Empire. I might do a poll for that on the community page. Because we're going to have the video for choosing your patron units for CIS on Friday. Because I did want to wait until November 1st so that no one got double charged or anything. And then if we're running this and the one of the base game campaigns, those are usually like 6 episodes worth, maybe 8, especially if I stream it. Those are usually short enough, then we'd be getting right into the CIS with that. So that's the plan for this week. Thanks for watching, everyone. Hope you have enjoyed this stream, and hope you enjoyed the episode for those on YouTube. And I will see you later. Bye, everyone.